Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new review of AGT All-Stars Episode 6. We're going to react in here to the latest from Kodi Lee, Brandon Leake, Josh Blue, Brett Loudermilk, who is kind of my guy.
Oh
See, here's
no!
my hot take. I'm saying right from the beginning
No!
here.
No!
He,
No! No!
he
No!
shouldn't
No!
have
No!
advanced, but listen, he swallows swords, he does weird stuff, he's entertaining.
Listen, I love all those types of acts. You guys know it. I've been here saying it the whole time, but I am not into him at all. I just think like his first audition and all of that worked because of Sophia. It didn't work this time. Like I'm just no, 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 no. Especially not on an episode like this that was so packed with such good talent.
Had to just get the controversy out there right away. Gotta get the people hooked. Okay, no, we're gonna talk about Cody. Everybody else, before we go further, hit that subscribe button. The finale is just about here for some
Yep,
stupid reason
I
because we don't
know.
have any semifinals.
Yeah.
We don't
So
want you guys
make
to miss that.
Yeah, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow us over on Instagram, and let's get into it. As soon as I saw that Cody Lee was a part of this group, I was like, this is a done deal. There's just no way. That's tough to say too, because
Yeah.
there were some people on here like Brandon Leake who I just absolutely love him. Daneliya, oh my god, her performance was so gorgeous, and she opened the show too, where I was just like, that's a winning performance right there. Like depending on who else is on this episode, like she's just going through. And then Josh Blue shows up. I'm like, oh no, he's so good. Here we go. And then yeah, Brandon shows up. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then Cody Lee, and it was over.
It's yeah. There's just so much talent in this episode. It was kind of hard to.
Huge.
It's kind of hard to understand why the producers put all these people through, and then we're also like, oh, by the way, there's no golden buzzer. We're only gonna have one of you
I
advance to the next.
know.
It's like, is it really so bad to have 12 acts in the finale instead of 11? Can't you cut out like some of the judges' banter that doesn't matter, especially in the finale? They don't have any say. It's all the quote unquote super fans and their responsibility.
Yeah, listen, we haven't been fans of the super
No,
fans, but they should have allowed the super fans to put through two people.
yeah,
This episode was so stacked,
yes.
like so stacked, like, and because Cody Lee was there, and it was very obvious he was going to go through. That I just was kind of like, they really needed to have a second person go through. No
Yeah,
Brandon,
I
no
know. I
Daniela.
know. It's okay.
Come
There's
on, man.
okay. We'll start with Cody since he did go through. It's like
Yeah.
I've always felt a personal connection to Cody. Like I'm legally blind for those who don't know, so he's just sort of my he's my fellow brother in blindness, and I always want to root for him with that alone. But then, above all else, he did a song from Callum Scott, who I love. Callum Scott. Callum Scott is like on my top three list of people when I want to listen to like moody music when I'm like writing. He's got like 8 different songs that could make you sob at any given moment, and this song Biblical is one of them. And by the way, I think this is also kind of a Got Talent synergy thing because Callum Scott was on Britain's Got Talent. I'm sure that made licensing the song very easy, but his Cody's voice is just like incredible. This is not an easy song to sing. There's a lot of really high notes in it.
No, and I mean, there's a lot of great singers that have been on this season, but his voice is just, it's so incredible. And he picked a great
Yeah.
song for his voice. Yeah, it's a tough song, but I mean, he can do anything.
The other thing I just really like about Cody is just like I love his personality because there's a lot of people on this show who just kind of come across as a little bit meek or a little bit quiet, or they talk a lot about, being nervous, and
Mhm.
he's just out there being like, "Yeah, I want to change the world." And I'm just like, "You go, Cody. I'm rooting for you."
No, he has beautiful confidence, and it is really nice to see because I mean, this is a very intimidating show when
Yeah.
you're in front of a huge audience and the judges and TV and whatever. To go out there and have confidence like Cody is
Yeah.
really rare, which I think is another thing that just makes people want to root for him. Like it's refreshing to see.
It just also like I'm sure people are aware of this, but how difficult it is to play the keyboard, play the piano while singing, while also blind. He basically is having to memorize where all the keys are in relation to, where the black keys are, and trying to just like feel his way around and sort of have that muscle memory while he's going into it, while also remembering the lyrics to the song, while also remembering to be on pitch, to hit all the right notes. It is mind blowing.
I'm not mad at all that he went through. I mean,
No.
like I said, I saw him on the roster and I was like, he's going through, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to be mad even a little bit. But I mean, not having Brandon go through, ow.
I know.
It was so painful to watch that happen. I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, it's like this is, by the way, the episode of like people I have personal connections to, because
Yep.
it's like I also do a lot of poetry. I've loved Brandon from the moment he auditioned on AGT. I thought it was an interesting point that they made, that like people were trying to slide his win because there wasn't an audience on his season, like as though people in person wouldn't be moved by poetry. It's just like the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my
Agreed.
life.
No, I agree.
Like, Brandon was incredible in this episode. I love what he does. I love that people are recognizing it as like legitimate, difficult talent, because I think
Yes.
it's sort of like opera in a way, as weird as it is to say, where people have like this preconceived notion of opera where they're just like, I'm not gonna like it. It's just people singing weird notes. And, it's just like, shut up. Like, you can like anything if you give it a chance. And it's like he makes poetry accessible. He like makes people understand it, and so they have to give him a chance.
And seeing Josh Blue in the top 3, I was so excited. He is so funny. Oh my goodness. The show has had some really
Yeah.
great comedians on here, but he is by far one of my favorites, talking about being a dad, talking about the stroller that people would think is going to be filled with a bucket full of doorknobs. I was on the floor. He is so funny.
Yeah, I've loved Josh for years. He's a weird contestant to me, just because like he's one of the few who like actively knew, and I had seen a ton of his sets from like Last Comic Standing, and the first time I was on, I was just like, why are you here, Josh? You're already famous. But at the same time, I'm not mad, just because like I want good talent on America's Got Talent. Like, who cares if you've done other shows,
Yep.
in the past? Like, Daniela's done plenty of other shows all over the world in the past. Like, Josh is just playing funny, and him being able to go up there and just sort of like own his disability, it is something I have like so much respect for. And once again, I have mild cerebral palsy. I'm not trying to make this whole video about me, I promise, but it is just really, really nice to see somebody just representing in the way that he does.
Now, normally I'm not a person who's like into the story of the person as much as I am
Yeah.
the talent. I'm like, if you've got talent, show me your talent, sort of thing. Because normally when you go to a show or something like that, you're just going and seeing a show. They're not up there being like, and this is my background and this
Yeah.
is what's happened. But hearing Daniela's story, that she's 16 now, we've seen her on plenty of shows, she just gets better and better and better and better every time
Yeah.
I see her. But for her to be 16 years old and to move to the US by herself without her parents, I was just like, you amaze me every time I see you more and more. You're so brave and bold and beautiful voice. Just it hurt me that she was not in the top 3, but I mean, like we said, this
Yeah.
show was so stacked with talent,
Like,
and it's not Brett. I'm
Uh,
not sorry. Stop.
I will not listen. If I was to go to Vegas, this is how I was thinking about it with Brett. And it
No,
was
there
like,
are so many other acts.
I would-
No.
I would, there are other acts I would see
Better.
over him, but if I just like 15 minutes, I would go watch him swallow some swords
Oh.
and like tell some jokes along the way. Like, at least he's not just standing there stoically swallowing. There's a lot of sword swallowers who I just get kind of bored by, because they don't have any charisma and they don't have any personality. Like, that's what I do like about him. I'm not saying he is even in the top 5 acts in this episode, because I think Eric Chan's way better than him as well. Like, he's an excellent close-up magician. I would go see him.
He pulled out a whole vase out of thin air. Like, I've seen small things, coins,
Yeah.
and like cards and whatever, and paper. A
Yeah.
whole Vase, get out. He's
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, like it could not in the top 3 either. Like incredible magician. I think a better magician than some who we have seen go through to the next round so
Yes.
far in All Stars, which is one of the weird, not great things about the super fans. But okay, we're 10 minutes in. It's time. It's time for the rant, everybody.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Put on your hard hats. Here we go.
I'm getting on the hard hat. I'm getting on the shoulder pads.
Uh-oh.
It's time to open the trapdoor on Sethward. It's time
Oh,
to send
God.
Sethward
I didn't
into
even-
the abyss.
I was like, we're probably not even going to talk
No,
about
we're
him.
talking
I'm
about
so,
Sethward.
like, I don't get it.
We're-
Just stop bringing him on the show.
Send him to a faraway galaxy and never speak. This is what I'm the most mad about with Sethward. It's that, okay, I get like you guys want to have a bit. You have drugged this bit so far into the ground at this point that it is swimming in the Earth's core. And beyond all of this, it's one thing to put this nonsense on a regular audition show, but you legitimately took a spot away from another like legitimately good
know.
act in All Stars to give to this just like lunacy where this is not campy, this is not fun. It's like Dustin's dojo to me is at least campy and fun and stupid. Yes, they're not good, but I at least get a laugh out of something. Like this is not even funny. This is just like somebody in a stupid costume falling over.
No, I absolutely, I cannot stand this act. I do not understand why Sethward keeps coming back. Is it just to frustrate me? Is that what you guys are doing, AGT?
Yeah.
Just stop. You took a spot away from someone legitimate. This is All Stars. You
Yeah.
don't need to have this kind of a bit. It's not funny. It's
Yeah.
not an All-Star. Bring in another comedian. If you want to have more laughs on this show, there's tons of comedians that would be happy to come back.
Okay, I'm keeping the hard hat on, but I'm gonna put some tinfoil on over it here.
Oh,
Okay?
tinfoil and hard hat.
Here we
Okay,
go.
here we go.
Here's why Sethward is back. Because they don't want you to keep complaining about the super fans, and they don't want you to complain about the fact that only one act is going through. So they're like, here is this instead. Now you have to sit here and complain about this. You'll forget about everything else you're mad about.
No, the minute that he came out and Simon was like, why are you here? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
why? Why would you do this? This is an All-Stars, champions type show.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Also, Simon, why are you asking? You're an executive producer on the show.
Agreed. You asked him to come
Yeah.
back, so stop.
No, okay, well, that is what we got about episode 6. The finale is coming up a little bit later on down the road.
Yep.
We're excited to get into that. I think at this point, I'm thinking it's a 2-act race between Cody and Detroit Youth Choir. I think one of them is going to win.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
But we'll see what happens. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you here next time.